have a plan for graduating, okay? What that looks like is living independently, thinking about your survival, thinking about how you're gonna make money so that you can sustain your own livelihood. Having a job requires having certain skills. It may require taking classes at a local college or university unless you decide to travel abroad. So to prepare for that, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be writing a 5-paragraph essay called My Transition Plan Essay. Next slide, please. Keep going, thank you. So in high school, and even as young as kindergarten, there are certain things that you need to work on. These are called standards, okay? There's Common Core State Standards, and this is basically saying that students across the United States, in approximately 40 states now, out of 50, are required to follow Common Core State Standards, and what they want everyone to do is to be ready for college, okay? So, and then grades 9th and 10th grade for English Language Arts, your learning goal for this activity is to use appropriate and varied transitions to link the major sections of the text, create cohesion and clarify the relationships among complex ideas and concepts. This is the standard address, so kind of like the address where you live, okay? So if you ever were to Google that on the internet, this would come up. As a 9th or 10th grader, you also need to be able to develop and strengthen writing as needed by planning, revising, editing, rewriting, or trying a new approach, focusing on addressing what is most significant for a specific purpose and audience. Again, here is the standard, okay? So what this means is you write your first draft of your paragraph or your essay, and then an instructional team member gives you feedback. They give you suggestions on how to make it better, and then you rewrite it. This is a part of the rewriting process and strengthening your writing. Remember, the first draft is usually not perfect, and so we keep practicing it. Next slide, please. You also should be able to use technology, including the internet, to produce, publish, and update individual or shared writing products, taking advantage of technology's capability to link to other information and display information flexibly and dynamically. So that dynamically means that things are constantly changing. Flexibility means that you should be able to get on the computer and maybe possibly send an email, maybe go onto Google Docs using Google Classroom, which is something that we're getting ready to do. Okay, so accessing technology, this is a Common Core State Standard. Okay, and this also helps you to transition onto college. You also need to be able to cite specific textual evidence to support analysis of primary and secondary resources, attending to such features as the date and origin of the information. Okay, so what that means is that if you have an opinion, or if you have an argument, you need to be able to back it up. So a lot of times you will hear adults asking you why. Why do you feel that way? So you would give your reason why, and then you would also back it up with evidence. Well, according to the research, it says such and such. Next slide, please. Okay. And the last goal that we're working on with this assignment is to provide a concluding statement or section that follows from and supports the argument presented. Okay. When we talk about a concluding statement, you want to wrap it up, right? So some of us, we enjoy eating burritos with steak and cheese. You can't just have the steak and cheese. You have to wrap it up in the tortilla. So you want to conclude it. You want to close it off, okay? That usually involves restating your introduction. So you're basically introducing people to what you're going to write about, and then you're closing it up so that you don't leave them hanging. Next slide, please. Okay. So we recently completed the following journal topics. They included elections, career, and recipes. They've also included strengths, interests, and preferences, as well as your individual education plan, IEP, accommodations. In addition, they've included steps to achieving your career, such as attending college. So for example, Beyonce, she wants to become an investigator. So in order to become an investigator, she's probably gonna go to a local college. Maybe she'll go to San Jose State University. Maybe she'll go to San Jose City College. Maybe she'll even go to Evergreen. Or she may decide to travel abroad to Bacon University, which sounds really tasty, sorry, in New York. She'll also need to set goals, goal setting. Next slide, please. Okay, so now that you've been doing all this brainstorming for the past couple of months, working on your journals, you're gonna need to type each paragraph in the following order. You're gonna start off with your introduction. So for example, if I say, hello, my name is Susie from the Bronx. Okay, your second paragraph will be employment. Your third paragraph will be post-secondary education. your next paragraph will be independent living, and your last paragraph will be community participation. So again, we're wrapping it back up. Next slide, please. Okay, so looking at your introduction now, this is the meat of the burrito or the meat of the cheeseburger. Okay, so describe 2 to 3 of your strengths. So for example, if my name is Sarah and I enjoy singing, I enjoy, what are some other things that I might enjoy? Maybe I like to babysit my little nieces and nephews. Maybe I'm really good at dancing. So thinking about things that you're really good at, these can also be your interests. Then you're going to describe 2 or more of your preferences with learning in the classroom. So some of us, we like preferential seating. Where's the best place to sit that is going to help you to learn the most? In the workplace, how do you learn best when it comes to following directions? Some of us want to be told what to do, and we also want to see it in writing. In the introduction, you're also going to describe 2 or more of your interests. Okay, so again, I say more because it's not limited, but you want to have at least 2. Okay, now your introduction, like the other paragraph, should be 5 sentences. Next slide, please. Employment. What kind of work would you like to do? What kind of training will you need for that work? What kind of environment would you enjoy working in? Will you need any supports on the job? So thinking about the training, to become an investigator, for example, that may require that you take law enforcement classes. That may require that you major, enroll, or join an administration of justice program at a local college or university. What kind of environment would you enjoy working in? Do you want to work outdoors? Do you want to work inside? Do you want to work with hundreds of people, or would you rather work alone? Okay. Will you need any supports on the job? Okay, so because we may learn differently, again, advocating for yourself, what is going to help you to be successful in your job? Are you going to need extra time to complete a project, for example? Are you going to need to take extra breaks? Maybe you need to take medication to help you to be successful and to focus on your job. Next slide, please. Okay, now we're looking at post-secondary education. Are you interested in pursuing higher education after you leave high school? Okay, so that means, do you want to go to college? Post-secondary usually refers to the age of 18 to 22, so you want to be thinking about that. Have you researched the types of colleges, universities that would match your interests, needs, environment? Remember, this is personal to you. It may be different for someone else, depending on what their career goal is. What supports will you need to succeed in a post-secondary academic environment? So again, these supports that you may need. Maybe you need extended time to complete an assignment. Maybe you need to complete a test in a different environment where there's less distractions, okay? These same supports can be used in the workplace. Next slide, please. Now let's think about independent living. So when you turn 18, you're probably gonna move out of your parents' home. So think about, where would you like to live? Do you wanna live with your family? Do you wanna live on your own? Do you wanna live with a friend? What kinds of skills will you need to make it happen? Do you need to learn how to cook? Prepare your own food? Do you need to learn how to clean? Do you need to understand how to use public transportation? Do you need to get your driver's license to be able to drive? Maybe you need to learn how to interpret a bus route or a street map to understand how to navigate and reach your different destinations in the city of which you're traveling in. How will you take care of your health needs? How will you manage financially? Let's look at health needs for a moment. So with health needs, you have to have a work-life balance, okay? If you work too many hours, at the age of 14 to 16, you're able to get a job, okay? You're only allowed to work 20 hours a week. That might be too much for you, okay? Or it might be enough, but you also have school. So what are you gonna do to help yourself to stay calm? These are skills that you can continue to practice throughout your life so that you don't get stressed out, you don't get overwhelmed. How will you manage financially? Okay, so now that when you turn 18, you're gonna be able to have to survive on your own. You may not have the help of your parents. Next slide, please. Community participation. When you turn 18, will you be able to travel to work and pursue leisure activities in the community? okay? So leisure activities, what does that look like? Maybe that looks like going bowling once a month or once a week. Maybe it could be getting a pedicure. So things that help you feel good, things that you enjoy. Maybe it could be hiking on the weekends. Will you be able to access the services that can help you? So you also want to think about what services are you going to need to help you be successful? Maybe you need to have a tutor. Maybe you need to have a job coach, okay? Maybe you need someone to help you with your resume or to help you look for jobs, okay? Maybe you're going to continue to need to see maybe a therapist or a counselor. Everyone has their own needs, but you want to start thinking about what you're going to need to be successful in life. Next slide. Okay. Next we have community participation. Also, again, continuing, how will you be able to find friends and maintain relationships with friends and family? So remember, you may be working your 20-hour work week. You're probably going to school in the daytime, at least when you're in high school, and then you're working at night. Or if you're in college, you may be going to school in the daytime and working at night, or you might be working in the daytime and going to school at night. So think about how you're going to be able to spend time with the people that you love, your friends and family. What will you do if you are struggling at work, such as learning a task or a conflict with a coworker or customer? You might want to consider having a private conversation with that individual when you were both calm and advocating for yourself, explaining what you need. Next slide. In the conclusion, explain how your strengths help you on the job. This is selling yourself. So imagine looking at a commercial and you're looking at, you see a commercial and maybe you see a car, right? Maybe you see the Hyundai Tucson, your favorite car, right? And you are really knowledgeable about that car, okay? That might be something that you can use when you apply for a job to work at a car dealership. These are strengths. This is something that you know a lot about. Maybe it's something that you're really good at. Also, explain how your preferences, what your preferences are when learning in the classroom. Again, we're closing this up. We're closing up that burrito, okay? What, again, is going to help you to be successful in the classroom, okay? And again, thinking about this also ties back into what will help you in the workplace. Explain how your interests relate to your career goal, okay? So some of us, we may, in the beginning, we may think, I want to be a lawyer because they make $300,000 a year. But are you interested in law? Okay. How is that going to relate to your career goal? So try to pick a career based on what you're interested in, not on money. Next slide. Okay. So at the end, I have some references, resources available for you that you're welcome to look at. A few of them are, we have Al at Purdue. Okay. The end. Thank you very much.